Combat probably is the most prominent factor of gameplay in video games. Anytime anyone says an action game has good gameplay, it is likely that our first thoughts goes towards the combat. We watch various game reviews on YouTube, and oftentimes we get to see how much emphasis is given to the combat system of a game while talking about its gameplay. Combat is a factor that makes a game's moment-to-moment experience thrilling and exciting, and also gives us that sense of power and satisfaction. But what are the factors that makes the combat feel so good in video games? Flashy fleshed out movesets? Yes, definitely. Superb sound design that can give us a dopamine rush? Absolutely. Challenging boss encounters that put our skills into the ultimate test? Cannot be any more right. But there is one more important thing that I do not see people talk about. Encounter design. Designing combat scenarios for players to crack using the existing game mechanics is very important for the player experience in my opinion, and one of the prime example is one of my favorite games of all time, Dark Souls. Early in the game itself, we come across scenarios where a few different type of enemies are placed in an area to act differently instead of just spawning a few enemies and letting the player take them out on a first come first serve basis. What this does is that it makes the player think about the situation that they are in a little. Of course, we won't be going all Sherlock in it and be like this combo la 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 la, but it still does make us pay attention to the surroundings instead of just mashing through everything. Now at this point you may be thinking, well, this is just enemy placement. And yes, you are partially correct, as enemy placement is a part of it. The reason why I say that is because a good encounter design is not only about the enemies, but also is about the environment that surrounds it. In short, the level design. And to showcase what I mean, allow me to bring up another one of my favorite games, Katana Zero. This game is the epitome of encounter design. Neither the enemies nor the player character Zero has any complex movesets. It's all about one-hit kills. And yet this game has been one of my finest combat experiences till date. Sure, the mechanics and pace of the combat along with the music plays a vital role, but an equally important, if not more important role was played by how each encounters in the levels were set up. It's like a quick arrangement puzzle where we the player needs to decide whom to kill first and how. Emphasize on the word how, because frequently the game throws out situations where mere swinging of our sword won't do the job, or at least that approach will make it harder. Solutions to those situations are often in the environment, a throwable, a gas pipe to hide ourselves, or maybe a few exploding barrels. There are times when we can even use rooms to break the line of sight from enemies. These things make the combat scenarios feel unique despite doing more or less the same thing throughout the entire game. Another fine example of great encounter design is in Doom Eternal. I love that game. A rare thing for me to say for shooters. As such, oftentimes people think I love that game because of its movement and fast-paced action. They are not wrong, but no one realizes how much influence this one singular factor is having on me though. I love Doom Eternal systems, but I have been able to have a blast with it because the way every wave is designed with different combination of enemy types and how I need to use the levels to take out all of them. Jump pads, monkey bars, teleporters, and overall positioning of different platforms. It just kept my brain ticking constantly, thinking about my next move while reacting to any current threats that appear in front of me. And that is what makes encounter design so very important. It makes the player pay attention to the game, to the situation the game throws the player into, which in turn makes the overall experience more engaging for the player. And of course, considering how those encounters are more or less a little puzzle to solve, it also gives a sense of satisfaction when being able to clear off those challenging situations. But that's just me saying I like pepperoni pizza with extra cheese. You may like the one with meat chunks, the non-veg supreme, or maybe a vegetarian one. Or maybe you're one of the folks who likes pineapples on pizza. Share your thoughts on the comments below, and also what is your favorite pizza? I would love to hear about them, and while you're at it, please do hit the like button if you enjoyed this and consider subscribing to the channel for future contents. It will be much appreciated. With all that said and done, good night or have a good day as situation may be, and I'll see you folks on the next one.